TGIF, everybody. Welcome to a brand new, all new, live, in or out, pun intended, here on InRavio.com. Today we're going to do things a little bit different for you. We're going to do a special edition. It's the relationship edition. For the past few weeks, we've been doing the segment Matt's Single. Wah, wah, wah. So I decided, let's get an expert in here on relationships. So today we have Justin Maxx, the founder and creator of the MENCH'D app that you'll hear all about coming up in the future of the show. Kudos. And he's going to be taking our questions live. We're going to be talking about everything from tips for dating, things that are common mistakes in dating. We're going to examine celebrity relationships. You know how I love to have an opinion on them. Also, we're going to be talking about common mistakes, like I said, but your questions today, this show is all about you and me, because I'm single. But if you want, you can call in and ask your question live for myself and Justin. The number is 1-855-446-7284. Or, of course, you can talk to us in the chat box. I'm looking up right at it now. Hello, everybody. And you can also tweet us or Facebook us with hashtag pun intended, all one word. And I'll be sure to look through my feed and answer your questions live on air. So, without further ado, we're going to go. We're going to come right back with Justin Maxx. And we are back. Okay, everyone, to my side here is the one, the only Justin Maxx, founder and creator of the MENCH'D app. How are you, kid?
Very, very good. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming all the way out to Long Island to our InRavio studios. It's a hot one today on Long Island.
It's hot.
Oh my goodness, I'm like schwitzing here.
All over the place, but no, you look great, man.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you so much for coming. You're going to help me. You're going to help my viewers. You're going to even help my production staff here with their dating tips. But I want to talk about your app, MENCH'D, and what made you decide to create it, what makes it different from any other dating app, and things like that. So go for it.
Totally. So when I was started to get dabble into the dating scene, I chose to go through, you know, the single mingle Facebook events and the OkCupid of it all, and it just wasn't working. So for especially a gay man like myself, it was very limited where you can find single men looking for real LTRs, what we call them, long-term relationships. Right. And so I decided to create my own. And we're really excited to launch in July 2013. And it's this lifestyle app for gay men that truly helps you find your love of your life.
Now, what makes it different from all the other dating apps that are out there? I mean, there's Grindr for the guys, but that's kind of more of like a hookup type of thing. And then there's Blender for all you females, which is kind of the same kind of concept. It's a hookup dating app. How does this become a love matching app opposed to just finding a quick...
Exactly. So that's a question that a lot of people have been asking, excited about the app, but they're like, what's different between Grindr and OkCupid and Blender? And it is a location-based app, so pretty much everything is all around where you are located. Because the whole point is you want to find single people around you that you want to be able to go on dates with and see how compatible you are. And MENCH'D, what makes it really, really stand out, makes it stand out from Grindr and Blender is that it truly shows the compatibility between one person and another through different questions and our custom algorithm. So no matter what, you're getting a really legit experience with MENCH'D.
Some of the questions, just so viewers know, they're asking questions of how you answer the question and then what you expect the answer to be from your potential partner, which is really great because somebody can go through your profile and look at how they answered a question and what they're looking for in a partner. So for instance, I'm a smoker. I could care less if my partner's a smoker, but now somebody could be a non-smoker and okay with the smoker. Or if someone's not okay with the smoker, I'm gonna move right along.
Exactly. We really get down to every detail of the person. And I think that's really important when you're trying to look for that special someone. You wanna get every detail you can. I bring up catfish because that's really what all these things kind of bring up is no one wants to go on these dates and look on these profiles and at the end of the day meet up at a date and that's not the person you saw on the profile. Right. So with MENCH'D, you're getting the real guy, you're getting the guy from head to toe, A to Z, and we're really excited for this to be the first app that really has that exclusively for gay men.
And now also you have an option in there for events that are happening in your area.
We do. I have a lot, well, we're launching in New York City. It will be international by August. And for New York City, I have gathered a lot of my promoter friends who do tons of different events all throughout the city, from Broadway to club specials to even movie nights. And so on the events, if you're ever out there and you wonder like, okay,
where are the singles at?
Exactly. Or maybe it's even like you find a guy on there and you're talking to him and you're like, what do you want to do tonight?
Right.
Instead of the go get a movie or go do dinner, maybe you want to go and actually do something exciting and different, something that's out of your box.
Right.
And so the event calendar will actually show you all those events that are going on near you that you'll be able to take your date to.
Awesome. Now, tell us the features of the app that, you know, your app is very unique. So what are some of the unique features and services that are provided within the app that they can't find in, for instance, like a Match.com or an OkCupid?
Right. So for the first, it is free. And so that's a really good feature because not a lot of apps like this are 100% free. One of the most exciting features that we have with MENCH'D is our gaydar. And the gaydar pretty much shows you a list of guys due to your location, and you get to filter them out from anything you want, from the university that you went to or that you want them to have gone to if they smoked, if they want kids. You really get to every detail with that. Another one that we have is hotspots, and this is a really cool feature that allows you to see gay-friendly locations and venues from restaurants to beaches to gyms in your area. Sometimes you always wonder, where are these gays at? And especially someone who is new to dating and maybe possibly someone who just recently came out, you're not familiar where those spots are. So as a lifestyle dating app, this will definitely share with you where those hot spots are.
And this will also filter out, like for me personally, going on this app, I'm gonna be able to filter out, like, you know, we all learn from relationships and we figure out what we're gonna compromise on and not compromise on. Hopefully everybody takes a lesson learned from each relationship.
Right.
But with all the questions that are available, you're really able to weed out, and it comes up with your algorithms, it comes up with a percentage of how much your compatibility to another person is.
Right, and this is something that other apps have done. OkCupid has done this, but what they do that's different from us is they show you the match, how much they are a friend to, and how much they're an enemy. And so with R, we want to shoot out all the positive energy and only show you the ones that are really good matches with you. And we really get down to it, who we think you're going to have a great conversation with, a great love life with, and just an all over like a great friendship.
Right.
You know? And I think that's what a lot of relationships start out, is a friendship.
Yes.
And I think that's really important too. So that's what, you know, specifically that does.
Okay, now the app is going to be available this summer in July,
Right.
coming up like in a few weeks.
Yeah, like not even.
Are you like totally stoked?
I'm so stoked. You know, this is my company's first app, and we're ready to launch it. You know, we have a lot of hype that's going through Instagram and Facebook, a lot of the social media, because people are just tired and ready for something new and something real. You know, with the whole marriage equality and all the
just gonna go into
yeah, all the big movements that are really happening. You know, it's insane. And so MENCH'D is going to be there waiting for all those gay men out there who are ready to take the next step in their romantic career.
Something I had mentioned in my Matt Single for all my repeat viewers, you guys know I've been talking about with marriage equality passing state after state after state. It seemed like for 3 weeks in a row, it was just being passed in state after state. And I think it's an eye-opening experience for the LGBT community that we don't need to just date to have the title of a partner or a boyfriend or a girlfriend. Now we actually have something to look forward to and sustain that relationship, because there's an end-all of that, which is either a civil unionship or a marriage. This app is geared towards people that are looking for that end-all, be-all, the new normal, so to speak, of what's happening around the country. So you're gonna go on this app and you're not gonna find that guy that is looking to just go out to the bar, have a drink, and then walk you to the doorman on your way out. So, you know, this app is definitely something I am totally psyched about. Everybody, I totally recommend looking it up. I will definitely let you guys know on onlymattmartin.com when the app is available in the App Store. And for the beginning of the launch, like he said, the app is going to be completely free for everybody. It's very easy to use. You get to upload all kinds of pictures. Keep it clean, people. Like, for
Try
real.
to keep it
We're trying to find your husband here. We're not really trying to find your pool boy, okay? So guys, we're gonna go and then we're gonna come back. Please feel free to call in with your questions, gay, straight,
We want to hear
whatever
it all.
you are. I don't care. Call in with your dating questions. If you're single, give us something that you're doing wrong and you want some help with, or you're not sure if you're doing it wrong. If you're in a long-term relationship, call in, give us a tip, help us out here. We're totally available to answer any of your questions. Once again, the number is right there, 1-855-4-IN-RAVIO, which is 446-7284, or tweet me using hashtag #PunIntended, or just log into our chat box right to the side of us there, and we will answer your questions live on air. So we're gonna come right back with more from Justin Maxx.
Putting it off and start painting it up today at Ben's Paint Station, featuring Benjamin Moore Paints, Sickens, wood finishes, paints, and professional paint supplies, ideal for contractors and homeowners, stain paints and epoxies, family owned and operating, in business for over 55 years, professional and experienced help, located at 2 locations, 55B Route 25, Coram, Long Island, New York, and 1495 Plaza Montauk Highway, Mastic, New York. Call them at 775-7435 and 775-8135. Ben's Paint Station, featuring Benjamin Moore Paints. Log on to the Radio Advertisers page today.
Radio.com, broadcasting to 7.2 billion people in radio.
East End Screen Printing and Embroidery. Shirts for as low as $3 with print. 631-281-TEES. That's 631-281-TEES. 1355F Montauk Highway, Mastic, Long Island, New York. Go to eastendsilkscreenprinting.com for more info.
In radio.
Hey guys, it's Christine from Backwater. Tune in every Saturday night from 7 to 9 for music history, musicians' birthday blocks, trivia time, and the best alternative music around. Saturdays at 7, only on radio.com, broadcasting to the world.
Sud City Car Wash, Montauk Highway in Mastic, Long Island, New York. $9.99 early bird special Monday through Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Phone 395-6114. Sud City Car Wash. Hand washes, hand waxes, and detailing. Interior cleaning, brushless Car Wash Club. Simonized products. Sud City Car Wash, Montauk Highway in Mastic, Long Island, New York.
And we are back. Thanks, guys, for tuning in to In or Out, pun intended, here on this Good Friday. It is hot. I'm dying here, guys.
How's
I'm
schwitzing over here?
I am
Look at him.
schwitzing. I am giving my Princesses Long Island like serious Jewish realness right now, coming
love
from
it.
the Irish Catholic. Holy Jesus. Okay, so Christine, can we just refresh my page for a sec? Thanks, love. Okay, so we're gonna go into, while we're waiting for your calls and your tweets, we're gonna go into celebrity couples, ones that have lasted for a long time, and see if there's like a common denominator between like those marriages working. And then obviously we all know about the celebrities that unfortunately just don't make it. So we're gonna talk about that, and maybe there's a common denominator there, something we can learn from going forward into our dating.
Exactly. A lot of these celebrity relationships, the ones that have gone bad, have definitely taught us all, the viewers, a lot of lessons when it comes to romance.
Absolutely. And first up, one of my favorite Broadway actresses, and she's been in movies, and she's a recording artist, Idina Menzel, we're gonna start off with. And she has been married to Taye Diggs. Do we have that? Fabulous. Oh my goodness, I am like a swamp on this episode. Okay, so they've been together for quite some time.
They have, and like I said earlier in the show, it's a really good idea to get friends with a person that you want to be romantic with. I mean, these guys were on Broadway together 3 times before, but they met on Ren, and the fact that they are now happily married and I believe have children is very exciting.
I really love them together. I mean, you would think they're like total polar opposites, but I mean, they're just a gorgeous couple. They truly look into each other's eyes like, this is the person I want to like spend my life with.
Right.
And I think that friendship foundation and common interests, which you get through MENCH'D, is the common denominator there.
Yeah,
Actually, we're going to go to a call. We have Gabby Falcone on the phone from New. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, Gabby emailed in. Sorry. Hi, Gabby. Thanks for watching. She's from New York, New York. And her question for us is it tacky if the person who asks for a date wants to split the bill?
It's a really good question.
Yeah, this is something I ponder myself on what to do. Like, if I ask the person out, am I supposed to pay for the date?
Exactly. In my experience, what I see is that if you're the guy that is actually starting the conversation, asking the person out on the date, it usually is your responsibility to take the bill at the end of the night. I always say, though, that this is where you kind of have to, like, tread water in a sense, because you have to feel out how the night's going. If you're at dinner and things aren't really going exactly how you're to your liking, this is the time where you kind of have to have the conversation to usually maybe split the bill.
Okay.
And it all really really comes down to the specific situation. But yes, specifically, I think that when the guy asks you out on the datee should not have to pay.
I kind of agree with that, but I also have like, if I'm asked out on a date, right, and we've discussed this before with Bonnie and Christine, if I'm asked out on a date and I'm really not feeling the date,
right,
I don't want to give that person the wrong impression by letting them pay for me, so I will offer to split the bill.
Exactly.
Is that like proper etiquette?
And that is proper etiquette, and that's what I was saying before, when you have to kind of feel out where the date is going. And if that is the case, I believe that it's good when the bill comes to put your credit card or your cash down as well, so they know that you guys are going to split it. And it's not it's not a turn-off in any sense. I think that it just kind of gives both of the people on the date, it kind of gives them the sign, this was nice, but not sure if it actually clicked.
Okay. We have another question here from Shira M. in New York, New York. Shout out to Shira. If a relationship is dying, what are some ways to spice it up?
If a relationship is dying, what are some ways to spice it up?
I'm assuming you're talking about in a sexual fashion, or you're just in a rut and you're not going out. So I guess we can answer it in both ways. So let's just go for the racy first. If your relationship is dying, what are some ways to spice it up sexually?
Sexually, I think that you guys, when it comes to the specific relationship, I think it all matters how long have you been in the relationship. If this is like pretty much a new relationship and dating, it's only been a couple, weeks to days old, I think you have to be really careful when it comes to spicing it up. Because people want to see you as the person you are, and they want to see maybe the kinkier side of you, but too kinky can maybe push it over the limit for the other person, and that kind of can get a little scary. And I'm not sure about Shira, but people's kinky levels, when it comes to what they do when the lights go off, can get kind of intense. But I think that another way to spice up a relationship is also to kind of maybe change, how you look. So maybe hair color, or different wardrobe, things to really make the relationship thrive or changes. Then it all comes down to, did your boyfriend or girlfriend like those changes, and work from there.
Also, a tip that I use a lot is if I'm dating someone and it's starting to get a little stale, like we're in a routine and it's just like a monotonous thing, do what you did in the honeymoon phase of the relationship in the first 6 months. Do that random, like, hey babe, let's go mini golfing, or hey babe, let's go to the go-kart track, or hey babe, let's go take pictures of funny people in Central Park. Just the spontaneity will help spice up anything I found.
I totally agree, and I think a lot of people are kind of afraid to go out of their comfort zone. And that's one of my rules when it comes to dating, is to really step out of your comfort zone, try new things, and even if you're not sure that your boyfriend or girlfriend likes those, or whomever you're dating likes those, it's good to try them and have that experience together. That always helps a relationship.
Okay, so we're gonna go back to our celebrities, and next up on the list, I cannot remember.
We have Chloe and Lamar.
Chloe and Lamar. Now this was something I'm watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and I'm like, okay, she's with what was it, 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Oh my God, not even.
And I was just like, all right, this is built for TV. This is just so that they can keep interest. I'm totally rooting for them.
I really am on the Chloe and Lamar team. I mean, this episode actually was just on the other day, and they literally put in the entire wedding and engagement all in one episode. And I was thinking to myself, like, this girl really feels something here. And I guess this is a true example of when you know, you know.
Right.
And he's a handsome guy, Lamar. He's a great job. Why wouldn't Chloe like him? And I think they're a really great example. Going back to Shira's question of spicing up the relationship, these guys are the pros at that. They really know how to, especially when it comes to the bed, they know how to do that, and they're not afraid of anything. And that could be maybe their little secret and why it lasts so long.
And also, you know what it is with them? They both have, like, what is the word I'm looking for? Epic confidence.
Right.
They're not insecure individuals, especially for somebody like Lamar, who has such a troubled past, but he has so much confidence in his game,
Right.
and not necessarily his dating game, but in his NBA career.
Right.
So there's not really like that insecurity level of like, okay, who's more famous type of thing.
Right.
Especially when you have two public figures collaborating, there tends to be an ego involved, and I think they keep each other in check and very well rounded.
I think Chloe's someone also who she shared with the media in the past that she has had self-confidence issues with having Courtney and Kim as these gorgeous, and so is Chloe. Chloe's a gorgeous woman in her own right, but I feel like always has kind of struggled with that. But since Lamar has come into the picture, I think their relationship and self-confidence is amazing.
And now, who do we have next on our list? We have
Brad and Ange.
Brad and Angelina Jolie. Now, they started with kind of like a scandal because Brad, as we all know, was married to Jennifer Aniston. Then they were, Angelina and Brad Pitt were in Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Right.
And that movie, I mean, the chemistry,
right?
I was like, oh.
I felt that movie. I literally watched that movie because I see it in their eyes. I love when couples do movies together.
Yes.
Or even do any kind of media spot together. I think it's so cool to see them interact on camera and off camera. And the fact that these, the two of them have ruled the movie industry and now have this amazing family, huge family, it really does show how strong their relationship is. Now, what built their strong relationship? I think it was the mystery of both their personalities that kind of showed we as people, we don't really know that much about
So
Brad.
do you think they went out of their comfort zones that they were usually acclimated to?
I think they did. I think if we look back when they first started dating, and you saw what Angelina Jolie looked like and how she was acting.
Yeah, she was a little
then,
bit of like a vampire.
She was looking badass.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And I was so excited that Brad did that because Brad was this sexy hunk, and he just totally wanted something new and fresh.
He was like the all-American man next door, like the sexy bachelor. I mean, at the time he was married, but
Right.
he was the can't forget that, Brad, you broke my heart, but I'm wishing you the best with all your kids. Anyway, but you know, he's like the complete polar opposite of what you would think Angelina would be with. I always thought Angelina would end up with somebody like Chris Angel or you know, some magician and like blood-sucking vampire.
I'm blanking on some of the other relationships that she's been in the past, but definitely at the time that they got together, it was definitely a mixed match. And they've obviously had their ups and downs, but they proved us wrong.
Yeah, and it's been working for them.
Totally.
So kudos to them. And you know what I really wanted to touch on real quick? Angelina's been in the news for her mastectomy to prevent breast cancer because it's rampant and in her genetics. I have to say, Brad has been nothing but completely supportive. And I love that they have the common like UNICEF goal in mind. They really have the same goals. And I think Brad probably brought that out of Angelina. And Angelina probably hardened Brad a little bit and getting him out of his like cookie cutter mold.
Totally. I think when it comes to Bradgelino, whatever the name
Yeah.
is, community service and philanthropy is definitely what their family's known for now.
Okay, and next up we have.
I believe we have the Twilight couple now.
Oh yes, now
Robert
Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. Yes.
Exactly.
This was another high-profile relationship, especially amongst the teeny boppers, and then it became like this huge. Like everybody was comparing them. Okay? Is that a call? Okay. We'll finish the story and then we'll take your call. Hang on the line, caller. So Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart.
Right. This is an example of what not to do, okay? So they had a really cute relationship on film as like an on-camera couple in Twilight. Next thing you know, their chemistry grew to much more off-camera. And sadly, Kristen did something that we shouldn't do, everyone, and that is sleep with the director.
Right. And she already had the role.
Right, she was already in it. They already signed for a sequel. Like it was already signed, done, and delivered, and she did this. And you know what? I believe that they got back together after this happened. They did, but unfortunately, I think right now it's still on a rocky road, and we don't see them in public together that much. At the VMAs and all of those MTV awards and stuff like that, they haven't really been seen together
What
on the
do
red
you
carpet.
think was the reason that he did take her back after he did break up with her very publicly? Because, you know, it became so public that she had cheated. So, like, for us, we don't have those national platforms.
Right.
But, you know, word gets around when somebody's cheating on you.
Right.
And then when you take back that cheater, why would you, was it smart
I was
for
a
her?
little shocked about this. I mean, Rob didn't do anything nasty on Twitter or anything. He said the most positive things on Twitter. I think the fact that Kristen, who she cheated with, I'm blanking on his name, but her director, went back with his wife. And I think that Kristen was all alone. She paid her dues, not really in my mind, but in the public's mind, in the fans' mind. And Rob did take her back. I think that was a mistake. I did at the end of the day. But obviously, I guess I'm being proved wrong because they're together and they're stronger, I guess, than ever.
So more power to them.
Right.
All right, so we
Try hard.
We have a caller, if
Oh.
I'm correct. Caller, what's
First
your name and
caller.
from where are you calling?
Up.
Do we got it?
Hello,
Hello. Hi, caller. What's your name from where are you calling?
my name is Cheryl, and I'm calling from Connecticut.
Hi, Cheryl from Connecticut. Thanks for watching. What's your
No
question
problem.
for us? What's your question for us, Cheryl?
My question for Justin is about ODing.
About
ODing, online dating.
Online dating, yes. You're quick.
right.
So what's your question in regards to online dating?
Well, after coming off of a long-term relationship, what is Justin's advice to online dating as far as choosing from a menu of men or women?
Choosing from a menu of men. So pre-selected men or women for you.
Yes,
on your own.
there's just so many choices. How do you
Exactly.
weed out the good ones from the bad?
Well, I think it all starts with a hi, hello. You know, start with that message, and I think you really have to be selective on who you want in a mate. You know, in.
Is
another
it a
relationship.
physical thing that, like, your physical attraction, is that something that we should use as our guide when, you know, when we look at our matches and there's like 15 guys and we're like, okay, obviously not
Right.
all of them can
Would
be
it be
compatible.
physical attraction?
Exactly.
Would it be
So-
clever wit?
Right.
Would it
so
be sense of humor?
with this, I always tell anyone who brings this up to me is that physical, it has to be there. It can't not exist. A lot of people do say, you know, oh, well, what about the emotions? You know, you have to look behind the looks, and that really truly comes after.
Right.
You know, you have to be physically attracted to the person that you're trying to love or find love with, or it just won't work. So, and with that being said, I do believe that's the route you have to take, but don't be blinded by that. I think that's just a strategy.
Because
that a lot of
online
people take.
profiles, and you were talking about catfishing before,
Right.
Some people
Yes,
are
catfish.
photoshopped or they just photograph really well.
Exactly, and I've been a victim of this. I mean, I have seen really who I think are gorgeous men on these profiles, and I go to the cafe and I meet up, and it's not exactly what I saw online. And sometimes that does bite you in the ass, but at the end of the day, you chose someone who, looks were in your favor, as well as, the other stuff, job.
personality,
exactly.
job, right.
And those are things that you have to truly meet in person. What I do like about OD online dating is that it does give you, a lot of these sites give you, spaces to write like a good paragraph about yourself, so you can truly find out who these guys are through just a paragraph. And I think that's the most emotion you can get through online. MENCH'D will be having some really cool features where you're actually going to be able to have a little video clip, a 15-second clip, on the profile itself. So before meeting them, you actually get to hear their voice, see who they are, and that's something that's going to be coming later on. But I think that's something that you were kind of getting at. It's like, how do you really pick these guys?
Now, do you give them your phone number to text, or do you Skype with them? Like,
Right.
how
That's
do
what I was
you?
going to say, Skype.
What was that, Cheryl?
Would you Skype with them first?
Right.
And would you just get rid of them if they avoid you and avoid the date for, say, 4 or 5 dates?
So I am a big person on not giving your cell phone number out. That is a big no-no when it comes to online dating. If that was the case, then you would just be texting them instead of messaging them on the site. So I definitely suggest for everyone out there to not give their cell phone information out until they feel like they're really at that level. A Skype conversation is something I've done in the past, and a lot of my friends have done in the past. And it's a great way to get to know someone through that virtually. But I am also a huge fan on going and actually feeling the energy in person. Sometimes having that webcam in front of you kind of defeats the purpose. But if you're in somewhere like New York City, we're in Long Island now, but in New York City, it's very easy to just meet up with someone for a drink or for a cup of coffee. Somewhere easy, somewhere very public.
Yeah.
Don't be doing any sketchy
Park
East
and
Village
rides.
bars. Yeah, right.
Here on Long Island, we're known for the park and rides,
Oh, God.
unfortunately. So yeah, it's not classy, people.
Do something
And if
real.
they avoid you,
What was that?
if they avoid you and break, say, 4 or 5 dates, you
Oh,
should
if they're
probably
breaking the
assume it's a
dates?
catfish.
If they're breaking the dates, it's obviously because they're insecure or they've misled you. And then, in my experience, what they were doing was feeding you a line of BS. And it was just to feed their ego that they could get somebody that looks like you. So
Right.
if they're going to be breaking dates online, I always say, trust your gut instinct, guys. If you have a funny feeling about somebody, whether you don't feel safe around them, whether you're like, okay, they're like on the borderline of cuckoo crazy, go with your gut, because yeah, the first 6 months could be absolutely amazing, but then the true colors start to come out, and those cuckoo crazy feelings that you had in the beginning take form, and then you're like, I just wasted all this time with this lunatic.
The
Right.
worst thing that happens is when you feel like you're wasting your time, and you never want that to happen. A lot of people are kind of standoff at online dating because they think it's just kind of creeps on the computer. When reality
What
is,
if you
Go
What
ahead.
if you go out on a great date and you think it's wonderful, and then the man doesn't call you for 5 days?
But he called you.
does he ever call you after you go out with him?
Well, after the date, maybe you got one phone call, but then a week will go by before you get another.
I mean, this is a really good question.
That is a really good question.
And I've actually gone through this. So what I have to say to that is that after the first date, and if you do have a phone call, usually I say, like if I was asked out on the date, I would not contact them. I would wait for them to contact me for the first, I would say 2 days or so. And then I would start back on the online dating service. I wouldn't
But in
text them.
between that, can you send them a text, I had a great time, or is that like too much? Because some people don't know, like for me, like if I had a really great date and like I finished the date and like an hour went by and I'm still thinking about how awesome that date went, I'm
Right.
gonna shoot them a text, be like, just wanted to say I really had a good time.
I totally suggest not doing
that.
this.
This is why Matt is
Think
single, people.
you get the call the next day
Right.
saying,
Right.
I had a great time, and you'd spend hours on the phone already, and then you spend another hour on the phone talking about what a great time you had, and he says, I will be in touch with you, say, early or midweek, but then Friday comes and you haven't heard from him yet.
Right.
And
So-
that was last Sunday. So what do you think about that?
So in this case, I say now it's up to you. I mean, you can either say, you know what, this guy's either giving me the cold shoulder, or maybe he just got distracted. You hope that when you go on the first date that this guy can't keep his mind off you, but reality is we're all really busy with whatever we're doing with social life or work life, and maybe it's now time for you to send that next message and be like, hey, I had a great time last week. I'm actually, make it so that he's like, so you would say something like this: hey, had a great time last week. I actually just became available tomorrow night if you want to like grab a drink or something. This way you're not saying like, oh, I'm totally available right now, any day, like let's do this. You're making it think that like, you're kind of exclusive. And guys love that.
They like the chase.
Exactly. They want to chase. You definitely want to play hard to get. And people think that's so overrated. It is not. And I was someone when I first started dating that I thought that I had to be just always available. Not the case whatsoever. So try that and definitely let us know. I would love to hear back. Tweet us and stuff. I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin.
Thank you, Sharon. I really appreciate you calling
All right.
in.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Cheryl. Have a great weekend.
Bye.
Okay, so that was an interesting call. You know what? Let's go for a commercial break. We have Justin for the whole hour, guys, so be sure to bring in your calls. Just a quick announcement. Hot off the presses, Long Island's hottest new entertainment venue, the Suffolk Theater, presents the summer's biggest shows. And in radio.com, we have your tickets. Up above, you can click on the contest tabs, and you can go back to the decade of pet rock rocks, polyester, CB radios, and all the cheesy classics. It's the Back to the 70s explosion, voted Long Island's #1 cover band. They're called 45 RPM, and the Terry Hines Band performing the best of disco. So grab your platform shoes, slip on your mood ring, and get ready to dance and relive the 70s once again at the Suffolk Theater here in Riverhead on Long Island. You can click on the contest tab here on InRavio.com. Enter to win. Let them know you heard about it here on In or Out, pun intended, and you could win a chance for a pair of tickets. Ta-da! Okay, guys, we'll be right back. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to tweet me at pun intended on Twitter. We'll be right back with more of Justin Maxx.
Shotgun Sound Studios of New York. Professional sound reinforcements. We rent sound system 100 to 20,000 watts. Monitors, side fills, in-ear monitors, separate monitor mixes. Drum mics. Digital mixing consoles up to 32 tracks. JBL, EV, Behringer, PreSonus. Over 40 years of experience. Shotgun Sound Studios of New York. Phone 1-800-HEY-DUDE for more info.
Hanging with the cool kids at InRavio.com.
Stay in tune guitar strings. Guitar strings, bass strings, polish and accessories. Stay in tune guitar strings. Akron, Ohio. www.sitstrings.com.
InRavio.com.
Hey guys, this is Bonnie from Two Guys and a Chick Show. Watch us Wednesday night, 7 to 9 Eastern Time, where we talk about stupid news, email bag, and all-around BS. Two Guys and a Chick Show on InRavio.com, broadcasting to the world.
InRavio.com. Internet, radio, TV. InRavio.com. Broadcasting to 6.8 billion people. Streaming 24/7. InRavio.com.
Good Times Magazine, New York's best entertainment paper for 43 years. Check out their calendar for all the latest music info, including New York City, Queens, Nassau, and Suffolk. Studio News brings you the biggest news about the hottest artists and sounds. Technobeat is your guide to electronica, techno, house, and dubstep. Packtrack keeps you up to date on the biggest events at the area's performing arts centers and theaters. Good Times Magazine gives you all this and more. It's bi-weekly and it's free. Pick up your copy today or visit goodtimesmag.com.
Glitz and Glam Boutique. Book your little princess's party today. Glamorous birthday parties. Girls' Day out packages. Hair accessories and jewelry. 5A Canal Street, Center Riches, Long Island, New York. Phone 631-909-7428.
Welcome back to In or Out, pun intended, in this all-new special relationship edition. We are back with Justin Maxx. He's been here for the hour for us. We just took some amazing calls from you guys and emails, so please feel free, once again, jump in the chat box. Tweet me at hashtag pun intended. I'm going to read some of your tweets. I got some really, you guys are interesting people.
Got some good tweets here.
Yeah, you're some interesting people. You can call in. The number, once again, is 1-855-446-7284. We'd love to hear about your stories. If you're a couple, please call in, or if you've been in a long-term relationship, give us some tips. But speaking of tips, we're going to go into Justin's top 4 tips for dating. So what do we got?
Okay, so the top 4 tips a day. Now, these are my specific tips that I give to all my friends, any of my clients. And the first one is...
And you use them yourself, I'm assuming.
Yes,
okay.
I do use them myself,
okay.
Which is very important. So I've tested these out, and it comes to work. But I keep this very generic, so this is for men, women, anybody trying to get into the dating scene. So the first tip that I have to tell you guys is stay active. You know, if you're one of those types of people who, you know, we're talking about online dating, also, you know, off topic, but with MENCH'D, online dating. And so with online dating, you tend to kind of just stay behind the cell phone or stay behind the computer screen when you're at a bar, if you have one on your phone, you're just kind of talking on that. What I mean by stay active is you actually need to take that step and, you know what, go introduce yourself if you see someone attractive or interested, you know, that you're interested in.
So basically get the balls and just do it. If you feel the urge to do it, just go for it.
A lot of people think it's going to come to you, and that's not the case. You really have to put yourself out there. I was one of them who I thought, you know what I mean, someone's going to come and see me or find me, and they're going to start the conversation. And if you're someone who's truly looking for romance and looking for love, you need to start the conversation. And so you have to be active, get out there, and work it.
And just get over that whole potential rejection thing.
Right, because the rejection, it's gonna happen. I don't know anybody that hasn't had the rejection.
Right.
It's not a negative thing. If you get rejected, it wasn't for you, and then you move on. It should never be like a Debbie Downer moment when you get rejected. I mean, it happens. Some of the hottest people get rejected.
That always makes me giggle.
I know.
Okay, number 2.
So number 2, when it comes down to it, you know, we talked about earlier in the episode about spicing it up, and I think that it's really important to get out of your comfort zone. So earlier in the show, we talked about maybe doing something sporadic, like going bowling or something. If you're not someone who usually does bowling, it might be something quirky or fun, you know, to go out there and say, why don't we go bowling? You know, something like little things like that, taking that extra step is really important. And I also think when I say coming out of your comfort zone, like, what's a fun thing that a lot of 20s do is do those concerts, music festival concerts. So recently we just had Gov Ball here in Manhattan, and it was an epic event. And so many people, single people, go to this event looking to meet other people interested in the same genre and music artists that they have. If you're someone who's never been to a music festival before, those are the type of thing you step out of your comfort zone, you go, and you be open to.
It's almost like glamping or camping. You know, if your partner is not the woodsy type, you're not going to like ask them to go on a hike. But you can upgrade your camping experience, and it's another way to get all your friends around and band around. And a lot of singles go camping in the summer because they don't have anybody else. So they're going to go, they're going to build a fire, they're going to have a grand old time. Especially here on Long Island, we have all those beaches. Smith's Point here in Mastic, I know for a fact they have campgrounds. Camping's inexpensive is the word I'm looking for.
Affordable.
It's affordable, it's easy, and you can get a group of people together, a group of singles together, and you just take over the campground.
I love it. I love it. And I do have to say that these tips are for single people who aren't in relationships, but they do work with couples.
To enhance your
Oh my God,
couple
totally.
relationship,
And I think that when it comes down to it, another tip I can give you is for my third tip is trying something new. Okay. And it's different than stepping out of your comfort zone because
How so?
So stepping out of your comfort zone is doing something sporadic. Something that you would never ever do in your wildest dreams. But trying something new is a little tweak here or there. That's something that maybe you've done in the past, but you haven't done recently. It's a little bit different. When I mean coming out of your comfort zone, I want you to do something really crazy. Something that can truly show your personality. And I think that's something that some people kind of don't really do that well. Some people just stick to what they know, and you don't really get to know the real them.
Right.
And that's really important. So then, but for the fourth. Oh, okay. Oh, is that a caller?
Yeah.
Oh, so should we go with that?
No, go ahead. Finish your tip.
So for the last tip, we want to make sure that you're putting yourself out there, like we said, and I think that's really important.
Okay, so we have Dana from Cherry Hill, New Jersey on the phone. Dana, are you there?
Hello?
Dana. I think we have her on hold. Did we lose her? I'm just getting.
Should we talk about dating tip number 4?
Yeah, we'll continue with dating tip number 4. We're going to see if we can get her on the line.
All right, so the fourth and final dating tip is really putting out what you want to get. So if you're someone out there who's looking for that sexy, brown-haired, tan. Oh, I'm talking from a guy.
Wait, it's a unisex. You can use that for anything.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what I'm trying to say is you put out what you want to get out.
Okay, we have Dana. Dana from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Thank you so much for tuning in today.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I'm really excited to talk.
Okay, so do you have a question for Justin?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Justin, should I trust my friends if they dated my ex?
Oh, so you're talking about if they violate girl code.
Or are you trying to say oh, exactly? What you're saying?
Exactly?
No, it's girl code. It's the whole girl code thing.
Right. So you were dating somebody, you're no longer with him, and now one of your girlfriends is dating him or trying to date him?
Exactly. That's the exact problem.
Okay. So you want to know what to do with the girlfriend.
Or what she should do with the boyfriend next.
Yeah.
I think in this circumstance, you really should go and find out yourself when it comes to a guy. You know what I mean? A lot of when you're in high school or college or whatever you are in life, you run into people that have dated some of your friends. I mean, It's just natural, it happens, and it's totally okay. When the whole girl code thing, don't date your best friend's boyfriend or whatever, I would give it maybe a 5-6 month bumper, because you never want to turn down someone just because they've been with one of your friends. You might be missing out on someone who's totally compatible with you.
Or it could turn into a mob wife situation.
It could. I mean, you can counterbalance it anyway. There's always a positive and negative side. But what I do have to say is that when you find someone that you're sort of into, but your girlfriend's like, God, I have to stay with him. He's either kind of creepy or he didn't really feel well, or anything along those lines that might be negative, I always suggest take them into consideration, but take the first step and get to know the guy yourself. Because sometimes the girl could have played more of a part in it than she really makes it come out to seem.
Right, and she could also inflate and over-dramatize the issue.
Exactly.
Okay.
The gays and the girls are really good at that.
Yeah. So your general rule of thumb is give him a chance.
Right. I think off the bat, anytime, if you're meeting someone new, always give them a chance.
Okay, so that's for the girlfriend. Now, how do you keep that friendship with your girlfriend if she's going to be dating your ex? Obviously, your ex he's going to be coming around if it works out.
Right, and I do agree with this, and that's why I said a good 5-6 month bumper bumper. And the reason why I say that is because the relationship between your best friend and the ex.
Yeah, also, you don't want it to be a rebound.
Right, you don't want to be a rebound whatsoever, and that's why you have that bumper. And the bumper always is really good because that way you know that hopefully in that 6-month period stuff has died down, especially if your friend knows that he is interested in you. You know, she's going to be prepared, and I think that good friends usually are going to be okay with that, depending on the situation.
Okay. Does that answer your question, Dana?
Yeah, that was a perfect answer that I was looking for.
Thank you.
Good.
Good, I'm glad. Thank you so much for calling in, and a big shout out to Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Cherry Hill.
Thank you so much, Justin.
All right, thanks, Zane, for calling in.
Okay, so guys, we're taking your questions as you can see live. I'm going to answer some of your tweets with Justin right now. You guys are some interesting tweeters, my little tweethearts. So, is it necessary to come to the first date with a sweet or flowers or a gift?
Is it necessary to come to the first date with a gift?
And this is from Eddie Martinez.
Okay, well, Eddie, this is the thing. When it comes down to the very first date, I'd like to have a clean slate. I believe that gifts are pretty much a second date on base. You know, those are types of the things, the little add-ons that you do for the second date. I like to see the person just how they are right off the bat. Even though it is a very romantic gesture, I think it all depends on really where you met the person, how you met the person, and the vibe that you're getting. I say second date, Eddie, second date.
Okay, so first date options: coffee shop, movies, lunch, or a... Oh, it got cut off. Or a pun intended. So, I get where you're going with this. Okay. So, yeah, great first date. I get where they're going with this. I get it. Well done, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay. You are a very clever individual. So, okay, so first date settings, depending on your, most of us work during the day, so going on a lunch break, I find that less threatening, and also because I can get out of it and I don't have to make an excuse.
Right.
Lunch dates for me are epic. Because it's like, there's a time restraint. You can, there's not that awkward, well, I'm going to go now.
I'm gonna plug MENCH'D in this real quick because it's a good point. Because with MENCH'D, you know, coming in September, we have a paid membership version. And when you're a member, we actually email you every day at 12 o'clock with suggested dates. And the reason we do that is because a lot of people, especially in Manhattan and other cities, metro places, they have lunch around that time. Lunch is an amazing time to go to just to get to know someone. For a first date. And I really like you, Matt, you put a good point with the time restraint. It definitely is a good buffer for the person going on a first date.
It relieves the pressure.
It totally relieves the pressure. And there, I'm gonna also plug in another website called Coffee Meets Bagel. Anyone out there for the straight following out there that's listening to us, Coffee Meets Bagel is a great website for matching that sends you a match every day at 11:30. And yeah, so check them out. I'm gonna say to Obi-Wan Kenobi, don't do movies. You know, there's really no connection at the movies. You're just sitting next to the guy or girl and you're just watching an amazing film. It is a great conversation after the fact. So if you do the movies, make sure that there's another part of the date after. But just
so the dinner, movie, and then cocktails.
I think that's a great night out, not gonna lie. But if it's just kind of going to the movies, I would stay away from that.
Okay, and now from Allie G at Satellite Mind 42. She said, what is my drink maximum on a date?
Okay.
This is something I have trouble with sometimes. Because sometimes I need that extra Mai Tai.
Wait, and I'm in the same with you. I need my lemon drop. I need a couple of them, actually. Oh. But when it comes down to this, it all depends on what date this is. If it's the first date, I say a 3-drink minimum.
First date, 3-drink minimum.
Maximum, yes.
Oh my goodness, I'm like, I can do that.
Yes, no, three drinks is good.
Maximum?
The 3-drink maximum, that's what I meant. I apologize.
It's
maximum.
okay. I'm like, I can totally do that minimum thing.
Right, yeah, minimum is easy. That's the easy part.
Right.
I say max, don't go over 3.
Because you don't want to look like a lush.
No, I think it all depends. If it's a beer, I would say I could say 3 or 4. If it's a cocktail, do not go over 3.
Okay, we have another caller. We have Peter from New Jersey.
Ah, the Jerseys are calling in.
The Jersey. Hello, Jersey. How are you? Peter, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi, Peter. How are you today?
Good. How are you?
Thanks so much for watching. Do you have a question for myself or Justin?
I do.
What's your question?
I want to know from him what he thinks of, not dating, but if someone's talking to more than one person at a time, is that okay? And
ooh, good question.
Yeah, how many is too many? Like, is that not okay, or what should you?
Yeah, like you're saying you're not exclusive with somebody. You're just starting to date and putting yourself out there. So how many is too many, and what's enough?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so this is a really good question, Peter. I think that this really does come down to, I think when it comes to the gays and the straights, this is kind of totally two different rules. I never limit how many guys I'm talking to at one time. I don't suggest it for anybody to limit how many guys they're talking to until the word monogamy comes up. If you're talking is one thing, dating is another, and then sex is another.
Right.
And that's what I have to say to that. So when it comes down to it, I think that you have to keep the conversation open and the possibilities open, and that's what.
Yeah, but I also, Peter, my advice is, if you're finding yourself attracted to a certain person more than the other, be open with that person and letting them know that, yeah, I am also seeing other people, and open up the dialogue, are you seeing other people? But don't throw it in their face, like, I have options in case you fell through.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's the approach.
Right, and I would never use that as a I would suggest for no one to use that as a defense, like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm seeing other
It makes
people.
it look, you look really desperate.
Exactly.
I would never use it as a defense, but say you are technically not dating exclusively, but you do go on dates and sex is involved, and I mean, they're from two different networks, two different people. They don't know each other, but
Do they live in the same town?
For different reasons.
Do they live in the same town?
No.
So, they're from two totally different networks.
Right.
If sex is involved, me personally, I would be uncomfortable knowing that somebody that I'm sleeping with is also potentially going to be sleeping with somebody else at the same time. But that's just my personal preference. What was that?
He says they don't know that.
Yeah,
So
they
that's a
don't
good
know.
thing.
They do now.
Now you're putting it out there. No, I definitely think that, Matt has a great point. I think you definitely need to keep this stuff to a need-to-know basis. I have to remind you to always also, whatever you're doing, stay protected. And I also think that in this case, I think you need to keep your options open. But when you start getting that feeling that it's getting to that point where, you're really feeling something towards the other, it's time to just put that one other guy aside. That's okay. It's, you shouldn't have to feel bad to do that. Let him off a little bit, kind of stop conversation, and see where it goes. But I think it is very healthy to be talking to more than one person at a time if it's at that level.
Yeah.
All right, Peter, thank you so much. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks
and
for
make sure
calling.
you separate your dates at least by 24 hours. That's my tip for the day.
That's a good tip. Thanks for calling, Pete.
Thanks for calling, Peter. Okay, guys, we're going to go and come right back. We're coming to the top of the hour. Thank you so much for all your questions. We're going to come right back more with Justin Maxx. You're watching In or Out, pun intended, here on InRavio.com.
If you want to increase business, you've got to advertise. Contact Resonant Voiceovers for an effective, affordable commercial spot. Our production, audio, and editing personnel will create top-quality recordings to promote your business. Start getting internet exposure for your business today, right here on Enravio.com. To contact Resonant Voiceovers, go to the Enravio Advertisers and Sponsors page and click on Resonant Voiceovers. Resonant Voiceovers, when you want your message to resonate.
And we are back. Thank you guys so much for this special relationship edition of In or Out, pun intended. Justin, you've been amazing.
Thank you
You
for
gave us
having
such
me.
amazing tips. Guys, the MENCH'D app is coming out soon. Please check out onlymattmartin.com. I will let you know the exact date. You can go to the App Store and get it for free for a limited time. So, fellas, I'll see you on MENCH'D. Be sure to answer those questions truthfully. Truth is seriously the common denominator. Honesty, loyalty.
It
all
literally
those
is the
are
key
counted.
to a successful relationship. So
In
I'm so
every
excited
aspect.
for all the men out there to log on to MENCH'D at the App Store and have an amazing time.
Okay, guys, another quick announcement. We have more giveaways here at InRavio.com. The summer of 2013 is finally here, and let me tell you, I am feeling the heat. And InRavio.com has the tickets to the hottest shows. Thursday, July 11th, it's the Big Night Out Tour as Fuel Hubastank, Lit, and Alien Ant Farm invade the Paramount in Huntington. Showtime is at 8 o'clock. You can go above to our contest tab for your chance to enter and win. For more information or to purchase tickets, visit the website ParamountNewYork.com and catch us all summer long here on InRadio.com. Guys, it was an epic show. Be sure to find me on Facebook, Only Matt Martin. Follow me on Twitter, Only Matt Martin. Follow us on InRavio at Only Matt Martin, at InRavio, InRavio.com on Facebook. Guys, thank you so much. We had an amazing show. Thank you
Matt.
again
Appreciate
so
being
much.
here.
Guys, enjoy your weekend. We're due for some interesting weather, so stay tuned, guys, and also check back to InRavio.com often for all the shows that are going on. We have new things coming up. And once again, if you have anything you want to see on the show, you want to be a guest on the show, you have an idea for a guest for me that you want to see on the show, feel free to email me at talkshow@onlymattmartin.com. Guys, once again, it was my pleasure. TGIF, enjoy your weekend. This has been In or Out, pun intended, here on InRavio.com.